Hello traders, so today I'm going to show you the analysis tool that we're going to be using for the entire course. So I'm going to show you how to set up Tradingview. So Tradingview is the tool we're going to be using for our analysis. So this is the risk disclaimer, you can read through. So what is Tradingview? Tradingview is simply a market analysis tool that we shall be using for our chart analysis throughout this course. So in this lesson I'll show you a quick guide on how you can set up your Tradingview account and get started on your analysis. So you can visit tradingview.com to sign up for an account, and then we'll begin on maybe an example of how you can set it up. But as we continue, you'll know how to even improve your setup. So let's look at the live example. Hello traders, so today I'm going to be taking you through how to set up your Tradingview chart. So when you first open your Tradingview, to look something like this, so you want to log in. So Tradingview is free to use, but they also offer some paid versions if you want to, maybe if you want more data or something of the sort. So I'm going to show you how to turn your chart into something like this. Also, I'll show you, maybe if you watch till the end, I'll show you a hack on how to view multiple time frames without the need to pay for the paid version. I'll also give you some tips on how to disable your ads. So let's begin. So when you first open your Tradingview, when you first log in, you'll see something of the sort. So it will look something similar to this. So the first thing you want to do, especially if you're trading ICT concepts, the first thing I like to do is you go into time zone. So assuming you're logged in, go into time zone. So you want to clean out this chart to make something more professional. So you go into time zone, whichever time zone you're in. So you want to select this specific time zone. So we are going to be using New York, which is the UTC, New York time. So select New York and you're set. So that's the first step. So I think the second step, you want to clean out some of these unnecessary things in the charts. So for example, this indicator here, you can select it and do away with it. And then you want to also go into this one, you can scroll it and hide it down there. So this one is showing us the symbols in the watch list. So this watch list, you can create a new list. I think it restricts when you have not paid for it to creating new lists or something of the sort. And then, so when you're in this list, actually you want to just clean it out, and then you can select the pairs you will be trading. So you can do away with some of these pairs, like, okay, they have different categories. So you can either choose to maintain some categories and then add your pairs there. For instance, if we do away with indices, you just click here, delete all of them, you remain with stocks. You can also clean out that. You have futures. So I'll just maintain the forex category. So if you want to add a category, just right click. And that is adding symbol. So, oh yeah, if you want to add a section, for example, if you're doing forex, crypto, and something else, you just add section. So I've just gone here, this menu, to settings, you add your section, then double click and rename your section. Maybe you can call it futures. So under futures, maybe for instance, if you want to add symbols here, you can click this button, add symbol, then look for a feature like maybe let's say DXY, which is the dollar index. So once the list is populated, you can click anywhere here, or even click the add button to add it to watch list. Okay, it will automatically bring it down, but you can arrange it by dragging it anywhere to any section you want. So that's how you add a symbol to TradingView. So if you don't want this section, you can still delete it. If you want this section to be above, you just drag the section and you drag the pair. So that's how you arrange your pairs. So I'll not be looking at futures. So let's maintain Forex only. So let's delete that. So we'll be maintaining the Forex section. We'll be maintaining Euro, GBP, and let's delete that. We'll be adding here DXY. So, oh yeah, it's added. I'll drag it to the top. So essentially, if you want to switch between pairs, you just switch. So that's how it will be looking at. So let's maintain the XY. So the next step, you want to be, maybe you can go into changing colors. So we want to make it more appealing. So we right click, then we go to settings. So under settings, what you want to be looking at, first of all, go to the symbol, and then you have the body. So if I zoom in so that you can look at the colors, so you have the body, which is this color, and then so under colors it is this one. Then you have, actually it is split into bullish and bearish. So for instance, if I want to change this body, which in this instance it's a bullish candle, into something else, so let's change it into maybe black. So you see it will be changing all the bodies into black. So but we want to maintain this color as bullish, then bearish we want to, let's say, make it black. So the red will be changing it into black. So actually this is the body of the candle. So you see the wick and the edges still remaining at red. So we want to change all of this into black. Borders, the wick. We'll also change the wick of this into black. So this is how I prefer it. So you can do it anyhow you want. So it depends on your preference. So I already like how it's coming out. So that is how you change your candlesticks. So you can see the time zone is down here, and also maybe if you go into status line, when you check the status line, this is the status of the symbol. So for instance, if I hide that, you see that US dollar is disappearing. So if you do not want the title to appear, you can close it, or you can change the title to either ticker. Ticker is just a smaller version of the title. So I prefer it to look like that so that it doesn't fill up so much space. So and then there's something called open market status. You can hide that. This just shows if the market is open or not. And then we have open, high, close values. These are the values here. So if I scroll above any candle, or if I select any candle like that, it shows me the opening value, closing value, high and low. If I disable that, then it disables. So I like that to remain, because when you're doing some analysis, we like to view that information. So for indicators, I like the title because that's how we know which indicator we're dealing with, but I like these arguments to be off. So in terms of the scale, there's nothing there to change. Appearance. So in appearance, what I like to do, I like to remove this grid. So I like the background to remain bright or white, but if I want to remove these grid lines, what I do, I just come to the grid lines, I select white. So if your background is black, then the grid lines, you should select the black so that it disappears into the color. So in this instance, you see it has disappeared. So then the next thing we want to look at is the crosshair. So the crosshair is this pointer. So depending on your preference, so maybe you can select dotted line. You see it has changed to dotted. Crosshair, I like to keep it very faint in my analysis. So for instance, you can select whichever color as long as it's a color that you can at least show in the background. So I think I already like what it's looking at, so I like that. So when I select watermark, if you want your symbol to appear in the background as a watermark, then you can select the watermark. So but for me, I prefer the symbol to just be up there. And then I think majority of it, that's it. Yeah, so chart is already taking shape. So the next thing we want to do now, when it comes to selecting your favorite shapes, so this column is where majority of analysis will be using to do. So maybe you can disable that, and then we select the favorite shapes or tools we'll be using for our analysis. So the first thing we can begin with, maybe you can do the lines. So if I come into these lines, the various types of lines, but the ones I'll be using today will be the trend line. So in order for us to maybe see the favorites populate in our chart, we have to select it as a favorite. So I'll be selecting the trend line as a favorite. Then we can also do the arrow. So you can see that these favorites are coming down here. Then we can do maybe the horizontal line and the horizontal array, maybe the vertical line. So it depends on your preference. So I'm just selecting what I typically use. And then we can do the text. Maybe the arrows. We can come to under this one. Nothing there. I'm looking for the fib. So the fib is under this one. So fib retracement right there. So I think that's enough for now to demonstrate. So in order for us to use these tools, we can even do a custom or maybe default template. For instance, if you want to use something we call a rectangle. I'm looking for a rectangle. So yeah, here it is. So the rectangle will be useful for drawing fair value gaps. So the first thing maybe I can demonstrate is the fair value gap. So I like to use, so you can also arrange these favorites depending on how much or how frequent you use them. So depending on how frequent you use them, you can rearrange them. So let's bring this for the most commonly used, and also yeah, the 4. So the 4 for me, the most commonly used. So it depends on your preference. So let's begin with the fair value gap. So I select the rectangle, and then under the rectangle, I just outline. For instance, I want to outline this fair value gap or this imbalance. So this is a rectangle I've drawn, but now I want to set default or template. So what I do, maybe the first thing I do is select the rectangle, then I go into settings. Now the background, I like the background, but I like it a bit more faint. So you can select the color of the border. So maybe let's do, I think I like, maybe let's go with red. So when I do red, I want to do maybe just a bit faint so that it's seen in the background, but it's not really popping too much. So the border can reduce the opacity. You can also select the thickness, but I prefer to just use the original one. And then we have an option of adding text. So you can select the text, you can select the color of the text. So let's say we do maybe bluish, and then you can call this FBG. So when you do that, oh yeah, so you see it's not showing. This is because you have to select the text alignment. So the alignment you can select inside, and then you can select center, and then you say okay. So even before you do okay, you also have an option of selecting the visibility. So in order to add it as a template, maybe you like the settings and you want to add it as a template, you just come and say save as. Then maybe you can just name it whatever you want. Example. Then save. So and then okay. So anytime you want to be drawing that favor gap, you just come to draw it. Even if the settings change, and then you select this option, then you select your favor gap. It will populate whatever settings you put. So it's as simple as that, and it's as simple for any of these settings. So let's say for example you're doing an order block and you want to maybe set it however you like. So maybe you want, maybe let's say OB, and then maybe the style, I don't like how the line is so huge, so I'll choose the thickness. Then I can reduce the opacity. You can also reduce the opacity of the text. So opacity, you can reduce it in color so that it doesn't really pop so much, but it's really according to your preference. You can also select the time the time frames you want it to appear. So that's it about. So you can also add this as a template. You can just call it order block 1 or anything you want to call it, really. So anytime you draw your trend line, and for you to draw maybe this trend line on a straight line, you hold shift, then the trend line becomes straight. So and then if there's an order block, maybe you're watching for instance that order block, let's delete that. You just draw it there, and then you come and select your order block or your default settings, and it will populate there. So that's how you draw a favor gap, your order blocks. Anything else in terms of maybe let's say for this horizontal area, I like to use for liquidity. For instance, you have your liquidity right there, then you can select your settings, it could be anything. Your colors, you can just select whichever colors you prefer to see on your chart. So this is actually out of preference. I cannot really tell you exactly how you should do it, but I can show you the general idea. And if you want to lock, you can also use the lock feature so that it doesn't move away from the chart. But if you want to unlock it, that's what you do. Yeah. So the next thing we'll be looking at, we can look at maybe kill zones, or even before we go to kill zones, let's look at maybe some useful indicators that we can use when you're trading ICT concepts. So even before you go to indicators, maybe you can go to time frames. So looking at time frames, you can see you have only the daily here. In order to add more time frames, what you do, you just select the daily there, then you select whichever time frames you want as our favorite. So if I select maybe from the monthly, weekly, daily, you can see that they are already popping up in here. Then I can continue adding 4, also like the 1 hour and 15 minutes, maybe the 1 minute. So you can select the time frames you'll be commonly using and put them as favorite right here. So that's how you add your time frames. And then we can go into now the 1 hour. So inside the 1 hour, you can see actually we can't really tell which, we can tell us which day we are in, but we need something that can show us clearly and split this kill zone into midnight opens that we can clearly now use for our trading and analysis. So this is one of the most important ICT concepts and elements that we'll be using, which is the kill zones. So I like first of all using a separator, which is a day and week separator. So I've already outlined the indicator here, I've already selected it, but in order to find it, you just go to the indicators. It's already a favorite, it's called FXN week and day separator. So you go to the search, you search for, you can even search for FXN. It will actually populate it here, and you select the week and day separator. So we have already selected that, and let's now enable it. So as you can see, it's separating the different days. We can go into more settings, and it will even populate the which day we are in and such things. So let's go into more settings. So the week separator, it's actually separating on the Sunday. You need to have this show week separator line. You also select show day separator line, then show day separator and days of week on 1 hour. So yeah, exactly. So we are seeing now the days of the week being split. So this was the weekly separator, this is now the daily separator, and then you can use short names. So we have already seen that we have the days of the week being populated here, but if you can see, the week is not showing. So for instance, in this week we are seeing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Perfect. So Sunday is actually not shown here because Sunday is usually between Friday and Monday. So this is actually because we didn't have trading on this Monday. That's why you're not seeing Monday here. But in this case, you're also not seeing Monday here because we didn't have any trading on DXY. But if you go to Euro, you'll actually see, I think let's use weekend day separator line. I think I'll just go back to DXY because we're ready. So the basic idea is that we are seeing the entire week on the 1 hour chart. We have Monday through Friday. So this is the price action we want to be dealing in. Then apart from that, so that's the day of the week. So in order for this, I think I don't like what this is. I'll do label on price scale. Perfect. So this was very annoying. So I've removed that. So if you remove that, you'll not be seeing this extension of figures. So the next thing you want to look at, the kill zone, the ICT kill zones. So I have an indicator here. So for you to find it, this is the name of the indicator. This is the author of the indicator. So this is the one you want to find. So when you type ICT or maybe kill zones in your chart, you want to find this author right here. So this is the one. So that's the one I'll be using. So let's highlight that. So this kill zone, this is the first time you'll highlight that. That's what you'll see. But with a bit of settings, you'll see this become much better. So you have to disable this show high or low first of all, then disable this fill middle. At least you want our chart to be much more cleaner. Then you want to also reduce some sort of style. I also disable this, then you don't see all that. And then the box height, you can reduce it to 1. It doesn't really do too much. So you're already seeing it becoming much more cleaner. So this is the ICT kill zone. So this is so let's adjust this kill zone. So the London Open should be 2. You want to be careful with this indicator of kill zone. So that's why I don't like using indicators for kill zone. I usually prefer just drawing it out myself. And then New York Open, let's use 8 AM to 10. Asian session, we'll be using 2. It is 20:00 to 12 midnight. Then the London close. So actually I'll not be using this. So I'll disable it in style. So London killed on high, London killed on low, London killed on high. So I'll disable London close. Oh, sorry. It's London close. London close. London close. I'll not be needing that, so I'll just be focusing on the London, Asian, and New York. So I'm already finding trouble with this indicator. So let's go to Euro and see if it's really populating the kind of times we want to see. So this is not really in sync with the week and day separator. So I think in this tutorial I'll show you the easiest way to just outline these kill zones. So I'll take the rectangle and then I'll find the kill zone. Well, I think we have a challenge of the time. So let's try and switch time. I want it to populate New York time. I want this to be midnight. So I think the symbol, let's do forex.com. Oh, Euro USD, sorry. Euro USD. Now, when it comes to symbol selection, I think I prefer to use forex.com. So let's select Euro USD for forex.com. So guys, I had to switch up my account. Sorry for that. So I had to switch up and show you exactly what I was trying to communicate. So these kill zones, once you set your time to UTC New York, the kill zones also and the day separator should respect that time. So when we say 00 New York time, this day separator, which is a Monday, should also be at 00 New York time, and then end at 00 New York time, opening on Tuesday. So this is the midnight open. This is the midnight open of this day of Monday. This is the midnight open of Tuesday. So these kill zones, we have the Asian session, which begins at 8 and ends at 12. But we are saying that this indicator doesn't really get to 12, but it is indicating this as the Asian session. So you can choose the different colors in your settings. Actually, you can choose different colors for different kill zones so that you know which kill zones you're talking about. So we have the color for indicating the kill zones. So for this instance, this is the New York. It begins at 7, ends at, I think this because it has not ended at the time of the recording. So this is from 7, it should end at 11. So this is the New York kill zone, this is the London session, and then we have the Asian session. So your chart should be looking like that, but I'll be showing you a better way of doing this because I don't really like this indicator of the kill zone. So what I prefer to do, I like to go to the rectangle, and then for instance I know the kill zone and London starts at 2, so I draw from 2 up to 5. So that's the London session. I select my London open, And guys, you can see it's not very clear, so I prefer to go to the 15 minutes when viewing kill zones and day separator. So I like how the 15 minutes displays these kill zones. So you can see here, make sure that the time is correct, so that but essentially it's a matter of just checking the time zone that you're in and the kill zone sessions. This is just a guideline, but you should not forget the kill zones you've been taught. So that is London's. We can even draw New York from 7 or from 8. I like 8 to 11. And you select your New York, open. So that's the kill zones. That's how you do it. So you can do it even for the Asian session, which is from 8 to 12. So that's about it for the kill zones and the ICT concepts. One more thing we'll be looking at in order to finalize the ICT concept in these charts will be the OTE. So for the OTE, we go to the fib retracement. I already outlined a fib tool, but I'll be showing you. So I'll be selecting. Okay, let's draw that. For instance, maybe you have a range from maybe this range from here to here. So if you want to look at the ICT kill zones, oh sorry, the ICT OTE. So this is the 50%, this is 62, 70.5. So this was custom made by me. So it was just according to my preference. So in order to do your settings, you can go into the fib tool settings. Initially when you open it up, you'll probably find it looking, let's apply defaults, looking like this. So I didn't prefer all this noise, so I prefer to maybe deselect the ones I was not using. Then maybe the 50% I'll be using. This one will be 62%. This one will be 70.5 or 75. And then we have maybe 79. I think that's about it. I don't want. Oh yeah, that's about it. So the background, I don't like the background. I like moving the background. Then the color, I like maintaining just one color across board. So this is according to your preference. So you can do that for your chart. Then the trend line, I don't like the trend line. The levels line, so I don't like seeing the prices. Disable that. Levels line, this is where you can choose whether you want dashed, whether you want dotted, or just a line. So it's according to your preference. And then I like this being on the right side of the chart. So labels, I select right side. Then either on top or middle, I prefer middle. So that's about it. And then you can save it as a default, just the way you've seen. And okay. So that's the OT. So that's how you do it. So you can use it either to find the midpoint of an order block or just at a range, a price range that you're looking at. So one more thing, maybe you can use this fib. For instance, let's say we have maybe this order block and you want to find the midpoint. So what I like to do, I already created a, using the fib, I just use the 50%, then remove the rest of the levels. I created a midpoint for just outlining midpoints of order blocks. So you can outline the high, maybe the high and the low, that order block. I find the midpoint, or if it's just the body or the wick, whatever. So this is what I use for doing midpoints of order blocks, or just about any range that I want to work with. So guys, that's majority of what I wanted to talk about today concerning TradingView. So if you've watched till the end, I'll be giving you a hint. So if you want to view multiple time frames under the same account and you do not want to pay for it, because TradingView offers paid version where you can select, for instance, if you come here, you can select a layout where you can have multiple layouts. But now if you do not want to pay for it, come to simply create a new tab with your logged in TradingView account, and then you just open your chart. You can even select a different pair or a different time frame. So let's say I want to view the daily chart separately from the 15 minutes. So I just create two new tabs, so two separate tabs. One is viewing the daily chart and the 15 minutes. So if I want to view them maybe separately, that's what I'll be doing. Essentially, if I want to view them separately, I'll just create this new tab. I'll create the new tab and just view it different, and trading will just accept it. So I just go to the daily, or even I go to another pair. Can even do, maybe I want to view DXY. Just go to DXY. Well, that was not supposed to happen. So go to DXY or GBP. So I'm viewing GBP hand in hand with Euro, and I can even view the different tabs separately in separate windows. That will be very helpful in actually your analysis. So another thing, one final thing that I like to do, I like to disable the ads. So if you can see, TradingView doesn't pop ads in my chart. This is because I downloaded this add-on from Chrome called AdBlock Plus, which is a free ad blocker. So if you want to download it, you can just go to Chrome Store. You can go to Chrome Store, and then once you get to Chrome Store, just search AdBlock Plus. AdBlock Plus. So this is, yeah, I think this is the one. It's already installed in my computer. So this is the one. You just install it. You click Add to Chrome, and then your ads will disappear. So, but if you use the desktop app, it will probably bring ads. So unless you have a way of restricting your ads from your connection, then I'll not recommend downloading the app, because you can just use these tabs, various tabs for various pairs and time frames, and just put them adjacent to each other, like any layout you want. You can put it in tabs. So this could be one tab, another tab, whichever way you want to do it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. That's all about the TradingView setup. Thank you.